Hey everybody, welcome back. I got a whole bunch of requests to catch up on from my patrons, as well as people on Twitter, um, for sort of my thoughts on series. I'm just going to kind of wrap up on a lot of those that I still owe in this video. In the future, if you'd like to support the channel, I'll have a Patreon link down below. And you can also ask me stuff on Twitter at Miasma Senpai. Um, but yeah, there's a couple other things. There's Discord server as well and stuff like that, and it's just a way to get in touch with me, my opinion about something. Maybe you could suggest a show that I might like or something like that. We'll see how it goes. But I have a few things that my patrons and friends have requested me to talk about on here. I don't have super deep answers for a lot of these, which was another one of my reasons to combine them into one video. Uh, and I don't remember if I addressed them in another video because it's been a little bit. I'm sorry if I'm repeating something. Jchip asks, what are your thoughts on baseball? I kind of hate baseball. I think it's really boring. College football and hockey are my sports of choice to watch. I think baseball is really boring. I think it's like an old-timey kind of sport uh, that mostly only old people like. Um, what do you think of Edge's theme song? This is also from Jchip. Um, I had sort of forgotten about this. Apparently, I think it's called Metalingus I think it's by Alter Bridge. That's the one that I listen to. It's the one that I sort of remember from years ago. From if you don't know, Edge is a guy in WWE or wrestling or whatever. I watched wrestling in like the late '90s, early 2000s, sort of when I was a young lad. And Edge was pretty cool. If I remember right, he used to like slide into the ring from like the crowd or something. He was this creepy like vampire dude. When he was first coming in, he was actually this like vampire dude, and then he was just this creepy '90s uh, long black jacket type dude. Uh, and then he became the rated R superstar. He kind of became an asshole. But he seems like a nice dude. I believe he's since retired, but his song is okay. Not something I would really like jam out to all the time. But it's a good wrestling theme song. I guess it gets you, it gets the pop, it gets the excitement for Edge coming to the ring. I guess it's all right. Uh, Also from J Chip. What do you think of Yu-Gi-Oh's Panic Attack song from the English dub? I had to go back and listen to this. This is from season 1 of Yu-Gi-Oh! The first tournament, the duel. I think it's Duel Monsters or whatever. It's Yugi versus this guy Panic, who uses this like crazy, weird, dark deck gimmick. And just like in that series, everybody like cheats, and his cards all hide in the darkness and shit, which is weird. And it plays this really cringy "I'm Not Gonna Panic" song. It's like a rap kind of thing with this like really bad chorus. It's pretty bad. It's pretty awful. And this is coming from a guy that I am fond of the Code Lyoko opening, which a lot of people think is cringy. But this it reminded me of like the Dragon Ball GT opening, sort of, or the Rave Master. Real boomers will know this. The Rave Master dub opening, uh, pretty cringy as well. I put it in league with that, so not something I would really want to listen to. Um, this is from Warpbait. What are your thoughts on real fans and fake fans of shows and the sheer stupidity or validity of that concept? This stemmed from the meme that because I don't know all of the Inuyasha opening and ending names, I'm not a real fan, as was discussed, I think, in a podcast at some point, between J-Chip and probably Warp and I, or it's just some Discord discussion, where they joke that I'm not a real Inuyasha fan because I can't name every single minute detail of everything. Um, I don't know. I think what Warp is sort of getting at is you get this like argument a lot of the time of people that are way more into the like lore of a world and just sort of like way deeper into certain stories than other people that are also enjoying it, Look at like Star Wars, for example, right? There's like a lot of people that like to go watch the Star Wars movies, but it's a smaller percentage of people that are super hardcore fans. And if you're one of those people, I think a lot of them take like it's fine to have passion. I'm not trying to like bash anything, but I think when you are someone that looks at yourself to be very very passionate about something. I guess I'm guilty of this too. Like I'm passionate about anime, right? Um I'm and so like people that are, trying to talk about anime but know maybe just like a little bit of anime or a little they don't know as much perhaps as me. You could sort of like fall into the trap as a type of person like me that you know it's sort of my job to pass along all this information that I possibly can when they might not be super interested in that. Not everybody is into hobbies for the reason of like knowing everything about it. Sometimes people sometimes people just want to enjoy something on their own the way that they do it. And I think everybody sort of forgets to do that. And so I don't know, and you know, people try to bully each other on the internet as much as they can and everything. So yeah, you get the argument of this guy's not a real fan. This guy can't name every single Naruto village. He's not a real fan. I can name every single Naruto village, by the way. I'm pretty sure, but this guy's not a real fan. He doesn't know the best Bleach opening. But I don't know. I think it is absurd. I think it's kind of stupid. But it's par for the course for the internet. To be honest, it's just people will argue about anything. People will bash on each other for anything. People who have read or watched something 75 times will occasionally like look down on others. No, there's a bunch of people who are that passionate about something that are also nice people. Warp, the guy that asked this question, knows probably fucking everything about One Piece there is to know. The guy's read it like 30,000 times. In case closed and stuff. But whenever I ask questions about those series or anything about them, he doesn't like answer me like an asshole. He answers me like a person that like is taking up like moderate interest in what he's passionate about. And then he recommends it, of course, which, don't think I'm ever watching One Piece and its 900 and something episodes, and I don't know if I'm going to read it either. But it is what it is. I think more people should be like that. I think if you're passionate about something, you should talk about it in like a nice manner that makes the person that you're talking to not feel dumb and not feel like you're not really seeing the big picture of what this is about. Maybe you could just address it as sort of like, hey, the author sort of meant this meaning behind something, or this, did you happen to notice this symbolism was here, and they talk about it like later on, they tie into it way later. Isn't that pretty cool? And you could even sort of be like, well, I didn't notice it the first time either. Because at one point, if you are this elitist anime fan or something like that, you were probably what you would consider a casual at one point. So you were not a real fan of something at one point in your life. You weren't born with all of the knowledge of JoJo's in your brain, okay? At some point, you had to sit through and watch the episodes, just like everybody else, all right? But I didn't mean to get into too long of a tangent there. I hope that sort of answers your question, Warp. Thoughts on the COVID outbreak from Nia-chan. Hello again, Nia, by the way. Yeah, this is one... did I get... Oh, yeah, I did. I got a stupid crush card. The crush card virus, everybody. Aren't I funny? This has been, one of the scarier things to happen sort of in my lifetime, for sure. Luckily, I haven't been personally affected by the virus. And I think I'm thankful to God for that every day. And if you have been personally affected, I'm very sorry for you. I hope that things work out. And it's really unfortunate that people are losing their lives over this thing. This is a very, very, very serious thing. So I think that people really need to adhere to whatever their local government or whatever is saying. The people in charge should probably be paying attention to that sort of thing. In America, it's, all the news is like all over the place. Now, you might get contradicting stories here and there about numbers and so forth, but I think it's best to probably quarantine yourself as much as possible. At least that's what we're doing where I live. There's not a lot of places open. You can get like food and groceries, and that's really about it. And I think in schools aren't in attendance right now. They'll probably stay like that. I don't think they're probably going to go back before the end of the year. That would be my guess, because I think if we go back to regular life like too soon, I think that's dangerous, because what if we get like a resurgence in numbers, then we're sort of back to square one, or if not worse, right? And what's also pretty scary, I don't know much about virology or anything, but what I imagine and what I've heard people sort of talking about is that like the virus could, like, say we get back to some sort of kind of normalcy. What if it's like a seasonal thing? What if it's like comes back at a later date or something like that in like a resurgence then? Are we fucked at that point? I don't know. But it is certainly a crazy thing that I think a lot of people should take seriously. And I think there's some people, unfortunately, especially where I live, that are still meeting up in places, not necessarily being 6 feet apart and stuff like that. Seeing people going to parks and shit to go play like basketball and stuff. Don't really know what you're doing. Probably shouldn't be doing that. I would suggest not doing that. This is, not a Dr. Miasma here saying that you should probably not be doing those things. But wherever you are in the world, I hope that you guys are being safe. Please take this as seriously as you can. Hopefully we can all get past this back to being normal. Me personally, as a guy who just plays Overwatch and watches anime and reads manga in his house, hasn't really affected my day-to-day life, luckily, so far. And I'm really, really thankful for that. We are back to Mr. Jchip, because I had a bunch of questions from him. What do you think is the best gun in anime? That was an easy one for me. I just had to actually look up their actual names, because I don't know if they're ever addressed in the show, but they are addressed in the video game that the show is sort of based on. There's an anime that I love called Gungrave, and there's this guy, Brandon Heat, but his other name is Beyond the Grave, and he is fucking sick, and he has these dual giant pistol things that are called the left and right Cerberus, and they're carried in this big ass coffin thing, which is the thing in the back that also has chains and shit on it and looks metal as fuck. And that thing is called the Death Hauler. And you gotta understand, Beyond the Grave is this like big ass dude too. So like these guns are like enormous. Like the pistols are enormous, and the coffin thing that he carries them in is also really big. And the bullets are huge, and it's really, really powerful ass gun, and one of my favorite anime. So that had to be my favorite. Far and away. I don't even know one personal, like, off the top of my head that would be like kind of close. So there's that. There's my favorite gun. And finally, Jchip wants to know my thoughts on Best Girl, Sango from Inuyasha. Now, if you don't know who Sango is, I don't know what's wrong with you, because there was a show called Inuyasha that means a whole lot to me, and she's my favorite female character of all time. She is tier S plus waifu material. Okay? Big fan of Sango here. Always has been, always have been, always will. I like her a lot. In the show, she's like this demon slayer who is trying to sort of avenge the loss of her family at the beginning of the series. But she's still a very passionate person. She's very loyal to her friends and shit like that. She can fight with pretty much any character in the show. She uses this gigantic boomerang that's made out of demon bone and shit. She has multiple kind of cool ass outfits going on. She has her like battle sort of gear, and then she has what I was just showing you, her normal sort of like everyday kimono type outfit. both of which look really cool in my opinion. I've always just loved her character design. I love like her eye makeup and her just cute demeanor, I would say, and then a strong demeanor when she needs to be. And she's very, very strong. I tend to like stronger female anime characters that could fight and hold their own. She certainly meets that. I started liking her when I was really young, when I was first watching Inuyasha, and she just was someone sort of to like look up to, and I liked that. I liked how she's just an admirable person, I think is an easy way to say it. And maybe I'm sounding like a cuck for her, I guess, but I don't know. I just love Sango from Inuyasha. There she is again. All right, there you go. Much better looking than me. So, she's best girl. She probably deserves her own video, to be honest. I'll probably do that in the future. She also has this little cat thing named Kilala. Don't really care about Kilala. That's fine. But yeah, that's my thoughts on best. That is the best girl in any anime. Don't ever come at me with anything else. But if you have a different best girl, please let me know down below who you think is the best girl in anime history. And I'll tell you why Sango is better. Just kidding. If you like what I'm doing here, please consider checking out the Patreon below. Thank you so much to all of my patrons that asked these questions. I'm pretty sure I covered everything on here. Hopefully you're going to be able to put out more videos soon for you guys. Thank you so much for all of your support, and thanks again so much for watching, and my name is Miasma. I'll see you next time.